probably understand what a likely letter is at this point, but if you're nervous about not receiving one, please don't be. The vast majority of students will not learn of their admission status until the date of the school's official admissions decision, which is going to be late March, early April. So until that point, you're probably not going to hear anything from the school unless it's them asking you to submit like an updated report. The vast majority, for example, Vanderbilt invites 200 students to their Mosaic program. So the program I mentioned earlier, they said they invite around 200 students, but they admit 2,000 students yearly. So in other words, only around 10% of the accepted students will get a likely letter. So similarly, in 2015, University of Pennsylvania received around 3,700 applications and only accepted around, or 37,000 applications and only accepted around 3,500 students. And then of those 3,500, and only around 400 received a likely letter. So basically, not that many people receive a likely letter is what we're trying to get across with those stats. If you don't get a likely letter, don't panic. If you do get one, however, know that you're probably one of the school's top applicants, and you can be relatively sure that you'll receive an official acceptance as long as you continue putting forth your best. But again, at the end of the day, you want that acceptance, so it doesn't matter if you get the likely letter. It just is a little reassuring if you get that likely letter because you don't have to stress about hearing back a month later. It just calms your nerves. I got a letter from Colby College some time ago asking me to apply. I don't remember the other details though. What do you think that's classified as? If it was them just saying you should apply, because I think a lot of schools will send letters like that, that's just them trying to recruit you. The thing is, so this is some background on why schools send any sort of letters in general. Usually this is to their acceptance rate and increase their prestige. So what I mean by that is if a lot of schools send out letters like this, a lot more students are going to apply, right? They'll look at that letter and they'll apply to these schools that they previously may have not considered. And because of that, the school gets a lot more applications. And then of course, they're probably going to choose the same number of students that they normally choose, but they just have a larger pool to choose from, which means that their acceptance rate is going to go down a little bit, which usually correlates to like the prestige of the school. So a lower acceptance rate means the school is slightly more prestigious is the way they view it. That's why schools will send letters like that telling you to apply. I would say if they give you some sort of like financial aid, like a fee waiver, like application fee waiver, or they say something along the lines of you're likely to be accepted, then that could be classified as kind of them trying to recruit you and they know that you'd be a good student there, more so than them just trying to decrease their acceptance rate, if that makes sense. And usually schools will not send likely letters until after you've applied. So I wouldn't expect them to say anything like, oh, you're going to be accepted here until they actually see your application. You could get a likely letter. So when I was applying, I got a likely letter from only one school. It was from George Washington University. I'd applied there because I thought it might be nice to get some scholarships because I knew that they had offered a lot of scholarships. And then I got a likely letter from them. And I ended up getting accepted, but I didn't get the amount of scholarship that I wanted, so I didn't end up going. So likely letters are sent, but don't expect them to come with like a significant amount of like financial aid or like scholarship. Just because they really want you to go there doesn't mean they're going to give you everything you need to go there, if that makes sense. So I knew they liked me, but not enough to give me the money I needed. And then another example is when I was also applying to college, I got a fee waiver, which is why I kept mentioning that. It's a way that a school can show interest without them saying they're going to take you. It's just going to also increase the number of applications they get. So I had gotten a fee waiver from a school, which one was it? I think it was from Case Western. I had gotten a fee waiver from Case Western, and I had never thought about applying to them because I didn't know if I wanted to go to, but I applied after I got that fee waiver because the only thing I had to pay for was sending in my ACT scores, which wasn't as bad as like paying for the whole application. But then at the end of the day, I ended up getting waitlisted at the school. So really it was just a way for them to increase the number of applications they were getting and decrease their acceptance rate, which was a bummer for me. So don't expect any like fee waiver or anything to guarantee you admission either. Just some background for y'all.